Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to a high-level best of 5 of StarCraft 2. Whoa! Clem versus Hero. And I hear you thinking to yourself, dang Harstem, with the white vans, how the hell did you get those replays? 5 replays of the actual highest level Protoss versus Terran right now. Hero, the current rank 3 on Aligalak, versus Clem, the current rank 2 on Aligalak. And both players the best of their race. It's very exciting. At least for me it is. For you guys it should also be exciting, of course. Because PvT is a phenomenal matchup. It is where the brightest minds shine even brighter than they already do usually. It is a tough matchup for both sides. It's rare that I say that and also mean it. I don't mind lying, but usually it just isn't true. And this time it is. Terran tends to struggle very much in the first 7 to 10 minutes of the game. And once they reach that 10-minute mark, there are very little Protoss players that feel comfortable in their shoes. Just playing the late game in TVP is very daunting, especially against someone as powerful as Clem, who understands the power of the Ghost, understands the power of the Vikings. So we're going to have to wait and see what this is going to entail. But so far so good. Heroes dealt quite a bit of damage. Look at this. This doesn't feel like it's a lot of damage, but this actually is a crap ton of damage. This command center went down 1 minute and 48 seconds into the game. Okay? 1 minute and 48 seconds. Oh my god. What the hell is Hero doing behind this? It's a Nexus into core. That's what this was. Okay, this is going to be a rough opener for him too. So usually the way that you kind of see what the probe did is I like to compare CC timing against the timing on the first unit that's coming out. So it's going to start at 2:11 or so. That's actually a very decent timing. Nexus into core, 2:11. If you don't scout, you're probably going to get this first unit to start at 2 minutes and 5 seconds or so, 2 minutes and 6 seconds. So it's a 5-second delay. This CC got delayed by about, what was it? Well, 148. So usually you throw it down at 138. Someone who has very good SCV control, like Clem does, actually can throw it down at 136 or 137. So 11 seconds versus 5 seconds. I think the early game was very nice for Hero. That little bit of probe harass definitely paid off. It's going to be a double CC opener, or well, triple CC, because there's going to be 3 command centers. However, you get the first one for free. I'm not sure if we should count this. This is one of these cases where, you know, someone says they're a self-made billionaire and they started with 999 million. It's like, look, getting the 1 extra million might be impressive, but I don't think this is how we should count it. And it's the same with triple CC openers. Like, you get you inherited the first one, okay? Someone else built that thing. You're taking credit for it. Same with the 12 SCVs. I guess for simplicity's sake, we'll call it a triple CC, but really Clem only added 2 extra command centers to it. So I'm not going to give him too much credit for getting good economy himself. Like, you know, he stands on the shoulders of giants. He really does. Meanwhile, on Hero's side of things, we have a 3-gate blink coming in with a robotics facility. One thing that we've seen frequently out of max packs is this type of build order, where the Koreans, a lot of the Koreans, tend to prefer what I like to call a naked 3-gate. So it's just 3 gates without a robo. It feels a little bit naked because you don't have your observer, you don't have your ability to deal prism harass, you know? It's like going outside without a coat. Like, you're not really, you know, in the completely in your birthday suit, but it can feel that way if it's minus 25 degrees. Usually delaying the robo means that you get a much faster nexus, but delaying the robo also lowers your ability to deal with banshees, obviously. Some would even say scout, but I actually find, now this is controversial, no, this is not controversial. I actually find that when people skip the robo, they're more likely to build a sentry. So their first scout usually actually hits earlier. So it gives detection and it gives the ability to counterattack because you can see into the high ground, either with a prism or an observer, and that means that you can blink in. Hero, however, is playing a very passive game over here. Not really using that robo for anything, except just double observers for now, which he tends to keep at home actually, which is kind of wild. Has full vision on this left side with a nice observer mode observer. He's waiting for a mine drop to come in. He can wait for a very, very long time. He is going to be waiting for a very, very long time, and it is extremely unfortunate right now that he doesn't have a hallucination scout or an observer moving across the map, because this is awful. Like, he's going to figure out what the hell is going on about 5 minutes and 45 seconds into the game, He's probably cut like a worker or two here or there. He's now adding in Chronos onto the Nexus. This is still completely blind, by the way. Like, if he was being, let's say, 3-Rex tanked right now, he could actually be in some trouble due to these Chronos. So he's playing a little bit greedy, despite in this particular case it being correct. I think he saw a Marauder there. He really needs to get some freaking information, though. Like, he still hasn't made the full read here. He actually hasn't made any type of read whatsoever. He doesn't know if there's a factory. He sees 2 depots coming in. Hasn't seen the 3rd bunker either. Like, this is just such an awkward early game right now for Hero. He is adding the extra gateway, so he's actually making the right calls without the information. You could say, wow, Hero is so freaking smart. How can he know these things? Well, the answer is he can't know these things. So he's making all of these calls blindly, which it's still nice for him that he's getting it right. But this situation, which already isn't great, look at the worker count, should have probably been even worse had Hero played a little bit more accurate or a little bit safer. I shouldn't say accurate. He's been playing very accurate. Just a little safer. So we have upgrade advantage for Clem. We're going to have a supply advantage for Clem. We have an advantage in income for Clem. Clem is winning. Really, he really is just in a good spot right now. Now there's 3 more gates on the way. We already have 6 gates out. For the kids at home that can count, that is 9. For the people at home that can't count, it also is 9, except they wouldn't be capable of figuring it out by themselves. Hero's now going to fly in here with this prism. 3 zealots in there. This might just be the end of that story. Yeah, gonna get a recall. Viking was on the way. Clem was ready to shoot that thing down. He knew there was going to be a recall, though. As this is a typical Hero move. Hero doesn't really need an excuse to move out across the map, but he sometimes pretends that he does, you know? It's like the people that eat the same thing every single day. It's like, ooh, Monday, a great day for cereal. And then on Tuesday, it's like, ooh, the sun is shining. I'd love some cereal with this sunshine in the morning. It's like, all right, buddy. Like, that's how you get addicted to crack. Like, if you can keep making excuses for yourself, it goes real freaking fast. Prism is here in the back, 9 gates, 4 bases. So this isn't the worst thing in the world for Hero, obviously. It's not like he's freaking dead. It's just, I think his situation could have been better. There's a reason why we don't see a lot of triple CC out of Terran players, and it's usually because TOS gets ahead out of these openers. So we have a bit of a Zealot flank here coming in. Don't love that these 3 Zealots tried going back to the right side. I think Clem's done a great job here defending. So one of the main upsides you have when you play triple CC is because you go triple CC straight into extra tech labs is that your Marauder count is very high. So usually these types of supplies wouldn't even necessarily be super great for Terran, but I always kind of tend to like it against Stalker Colossus if you have like 15 Marauders or so. So you see how these fights are actually kind of swinging in, well, kind of. There's a fast swing in Clem's favor. 1 extra Colossus is going to go down here as well. Does need to be careful to not overextend too much. Against the 9-gate reproduction facilities, of course, that Hero has. But, I mean, so far so good. Clem is doing a phenomenal job. He has 13 Marauders. He's fighting against 2 Colossus, 2 Stalkers. There is a 5th base on the way, but there's also a 4th on the way for Clem. In the past, I said that Protoss is happy as long as they're up a base. I now believe it to be the case that Protoss is happy as long as they're up a base and a half. I really think that like the TOS eco needs to be significantly better than the Terrans heading into like the mid game. This is not a situation that a Protoss wants to be in, where they're down 20 supply, haven't really managed to do anything yet, and you really feel that there's a lot of pressure on Hero here to try and perform something. And usually when there's a lot of pressure to perform and it doesn't go quite as well, sometimes there's medication to fix that problem, but in StarCraft 2, you're just going to need to, you know, do your best. Keep trying. 5th base here on the way. Immortal coming out as well. 2nd Robo, I wouldn't mind it. I also don't mind the blink. This is something I've seen Hero do a lot, is where it almost feels like he skips the kind of the in-between step. You know, the missing link, so to say. I'm not talking about some type of monkey-like creature, but the missing link between the Colossus and the DT harass. Usually you fill this area with a secondary type of splash. Disruptors, Storm, really one of those two. Although it did sound like I was going to name a 3rd. But either Storm or Disruptors. You usually kind of add that in. I think Storm has become a little bit less popular since the recent nerfs to the Storm. So yeah, it's just interesting to see. It's just very interesting to see. And he likes these high-paced games. This fight looks okay, actually, for Hero. Ghosts barely are out. And the Viking count is fairly low as well. This fort base is in some trouble. This is exactly what you want. A lot of the Protoss gameplay revolves around the area or the timing window in which a fort tries to land. Clem is trying to keep this fort base alive. It's really important. He's probably going to lose it, though. 4cc goes down, and that means that all of a sudden Hero has a lot of freedom. He's never felt more American than right now in this moment. 2-2 barely didn't finish. Almost makes you wonder if maybe Clem should have waited for 2-2 until pushing into this death trap. Maybe he should have, but then again, hindsight is 2020. Gateway count is at 12. Like, this feels really freaking comfortable for Hero right now. He's going to be up 2 entire bases. Don't forget the 1.5 base up metric, or the little, you know, the guideline that I gave earlier. He's well above that. He's also adding in a 6th base already. So that is feeling good. If you can trade against some Vikings, that would be fantastic as well. His area defensively is absolutely god-awful for Clem. So Immortals and Colossus are just blasting through it. All the Vikings are going to go down. I think Clem might just be in a bit too much trouble here. Another big round of Zealot Warpins. 1 Colossus falls. 2 more Vikings show up, and maybe the final Colossus is going to fall. The answer is no. Tank here on the high ground is helping out against the Immortals as well. 1 more Viking is going to fall. I think we're working off double starport though, right? Yeah. Absolutely are. We get a pickup on the Colossus. Clem is going to push this back and actually flies his fort base over. What did he have to cut for this? We see a very late 3-3 starting. 2-2 finished about a minute ago. It hasn't started yet. Luckily for Clem, Hero also hasn't continued upgrades too well, so there might still be a chance. Hero isn't done yet. Hero's been continuously fighting for the past 4 minutes, and he's going to continue fighting a little bit longer. He loves the taste of fight. As he now right-clicks with all of his units that are supposed to deal damage onto the planetary, which just gets repaired. That was a lot of damage output wasted there onto a building that is just getting healed back up, like right in front of his face. Now the Immortals are going to help out. Colossus is going to fall. Zealot's charging towards the right side. I don't know if this is intentional or just kind of poor control. He's going to go for it now. Just get a cancel and a lift. It's kind of... that was Hero's foolproof plan. Right-click a building and not have enough anti-air to finish it off. I did not love that, okay? I did not love the execution there. Hero, however, still not done. He says, you know what? I think I have about 12 gateways. I don't think you have 12 barracks. So I'm just going to keep going as he's destroying this refinery big time with his lasers. Absolute beast, a machine. A god amongst men. All of this, though, did force Clem, or forced him. Clem felt... he felt forced to delay his upgrades, and now finally he feels safe enough to start them. So there's going to actually be a period where Hero will take an upgrade lead. It's going to be 3-2 versus 2-2. It's not a huge deal, but it is a deal. And as I read in The Art of a Deal, any deal is good. I didn't actually read the book, I don't know what it said, but I bet it's something like that. Observer coming in here to the north. DT is going to get taken out. Look at the amount of turrets we have here. This is the quintessential Terran experience right now. It's just trying to stay alive until you get more than 6 ghosts. And once you have more than 6 ghosts, the Protoss is trying to stay alive. And the way that Protoss tries to stay alive is by throwing stuff at you. So it really feels like Terran is the final mission in Wings of Liberty. We have like the Brood Lords and the Niduses and Kerrigan showing up every 4 minutes. And sometimes you can press the crystal and explodes everything that is Zerg. That's kind of what PvT feels like from the Terran perspective. Just waves and waves of idiocy. However, we shouldn't forget that in that Wings of Liberty mission, usually the player defending ends up winning. Even on Brutal. Like, you might need to practice it a couple of times, but eventually you get pretty darn good at it. And that's what we've been seeing out of Terrans as well. They've just been getting better at surviving until the crystal was active. And in this analogy, the crystal is the 6th ghost. The 6th ghost is the key number. 5 is not enough. You see a significant difference between 5 and 6. It's like, a 5? That's disgusting. 6 ghosts? Freaking beautiful. Loving it. No complaints to HR about that. Okay, bunker is fairly low. This is a nice... Look at these. That is the efficient thinking of the Terran brain. Look at it. I don't think it's possible to go further around. You think they'll just keep going further down as long as you keep adding more depots on the bottom side. It's a nice Zealot run by the way. That was 60 Zealots. Actually, it was 35 Zealots that were going in for a run by. In general, Hero plays like these very heavy Zealot styles and just loses them. Like his game plan revolves around losing Zealots. He kind of plays Protoss like it's Zerg. Except Zerg, I think... Well, this actually worked. What the hell? I was gonna say Zerg usually kills bases, but Hero doesn't, and then he did kill a base. He did lose about like 25 Zealots for that. You also have a random amount of Disruptors in the middle. Like, this is not a style that we've seen before. At least not that I have seen before. Pure Zealot Disruptor. Like, you'd think that these armies, they don't, you know, they don't work well together. There's no synergy, so to say, but sometimes things that shouldn't have synergy end up having synergy. Which apparently this does. Look at this. Freaking Zealots everywhere, man. He just lost 5 Disruptors, and I freaking love this trade. Gonna get a lift on this base. Hero once again falling for the same trick of buildings that can lift. Has denied a lot of mining, though. It's 30 workers to 87. Hero is now up to infinite bases. It's such a large number that I don't even want to count anymore. If you're capable of counting yourself, you can try it using the minimap. But you know what? If you know how many bases there are right now, you can type it on the comments. Show me how freaking smart you are with that counting. Okay, Zealot's still just kind of roaming around. Some of that roaming is going to be the end of their lives. Happens to the best. How many Zealots do we have right now? Okay, we have 28. 9 more on the way. 2 more Colossus on the way as well. Gateway count is at 13. Hero adds another base. He says, you know what? Infinite isn't enough. I want infinite +1. And look at this. He's actually just always base trading. He doesn't even try to engage with his opponent's army. Engaging with your opponent's army is for idiots. When you can just stab them in the back. Hero would have been a fantastic debater. Just like Brutus, who stabbed Caesar in the back. That is Hero as well. So yeah, nice point you have there, compadre. Bam! Knife in the back. How about that argument, little prick? Need that, Caesar. Yeah. Alright. What do we have? We have 7 Nexi. 8 on the way. Gas count is also rising a little bit. We haven't seen air weapons come in yet, by the way. Resource lost is 10k in favor of Clem right now. The number is higher for Hero, but that is bad. It's not a good number. Sometimes people look at this and they think, oh, more resources lost is more better, but it's not actually how it works. Zealots are having an okay time here, by the way. Like, actually having an okay... Well, I thought they were having an okay time, but they didn't actually chew through. It's like a minus 2k fight. Instantly warps on the other side of the map. He's almost using his army like a warp prison, you know? By losing it. It's almost like he's teleporting. But it's not really teleporting because he's dying on one side and warping it back in on the other. This is like what people did with babies in like the 1600s, you know? Rather than taking care of them, they would just die and they'd replace them. That's why they had so many kids. It's also why the average lifespan of those times was very low. It's because it was so unlikely for a newborn to stay alive. So like the average life expectancy did go up a lot in the past few hundred years, but usually these numbers there, you know, they don't tell the whole story. Okay, 25,000 to 38,000. That's a lot. 2 Immortals coming out. Usually when Clem hits a maxed out army, it becomes really tricky for Protoss. Like, this is just the reality things. This base has been mined out, but it's just gone. Like, this orbital doesn't need to be here. He's not even mining from the refineries. I'm not sure why he's still here. But then again, Clem is winning so hard that maybe we shouldn't, you know, nitpick too much. Yeah, orbital's gonna die. Okay, that was a huge blunder. Wish someone would have seen it coming. 1, 2, 5. So Clem is up to 5 bases, but he already mined out this one. And the only key bases here on this map are this and this. So we're just going to keep an eye on these two. See if Hero can get some serious mining from those. He's mined a little bit, well, actually quite a bit from these mineral patches. That feels okay. What does his army consist of now? 28 Zealots. He just keeps adding more Zealots in. Ooh. Fusion Core. Killing the Fusion Core is actually kind of neat. This also is a cool backstab, by the way. It just feels like there's no follow. Well, not a follow, just something else, you know? It feels like Hero gets close to doing something cool, and then he dies. Clem left some units here, so this is all gonna be pulled back as well. We still have DT Blink, but I haven't really seen a lot of DTs yet. Like 8 DTs died total. Get an... Ooh! I freaking love this play. I don't think Clem is ready for this. I think this base is toast. Well done here. Very well done by Hero. Using that recall rather as a way to save stuff. He uses it to kill stuff. Mainly killing his own chances in this game because he's losing a lot of units right now. That was not nice. I don't think that actually was such a good fight. Maybe if he gets a couple of extra Vikings here. And Clem just ends up losing like 15 supply or so. Hero loses 50. There is a backup CC that's already floating over. We have another backup CC being added in. There's an army on the left. Now recall isn't available anymore, which is obviously going to be painful. This base is toast. Would love to see a new fusion core though for Clem. I actually think it's going to be pretty essential to get some extra energy on these medevacs. Caduceus Reactor would be a big bonus here. Because right now, look at how low these medevacs are on energy. That is a serious issue. One of the most serious issues that I've ever had to deal with. Planetary plus orbital. I'd love to see one more. Ooh. Ooh. This could be bad. This could be bad. That's what, like 20 supply. If Clem doesn't realize that, and this goes on for a while, and more units stay in the main, like that would be terrible. This army just keeps growing. A nice first person in here for a good man. Clem should realize that something's missing. He's like, my army looks really small.
Mineral field depleted.
Okay, he might accidentally see it now. Okay, there we go. He's like, ah. So that's what it is. Sees the army. At the same time, we have a move out towards the right. A couple of DTs being warped in. I think Clem sees that. Does he have orbital? Yeah, okay, he's gonna scan. And yeah, losing 6 DTs for free like this is not it, let me tell you. I get one more snipe as well. Poof, 3 DTs fall. At the same time, we have an attack through the middle. Maybe the orbital can get taken out. Maybe it can. What's it to you, buddy? This is a more standard force, I would say. Stalker, Colossus. It still is. It feels like it's lacking something, though, isn't it? Caduceus Reactor is on the way here for Clem. Probe is dancing with the enemy. Dies dancing. If he died doing what he loved. Maybe he didn't. Freaking hated dancing. He was doing it either way. Vikings shooting from a distance at these Colossus. It's a blink forward and a half. I am not sure what to think of that one. Actually, I am pretty sure what to think of that one. I don't think that was good. That blink forward I don't think was what you want to be doing. Vikings are chasing the Colossus here. As the Marauders are chasing the Stalkers. I think Hero might have just lost the game. Down 20k in the resource lost tab. More Zealots and DTs on the way. Big blink forward. Stalkers falling as well. 4 DTs hitting the natural as we speak. Going into the main now. Okay, you do get a bit of a scan. So you have another warp in. Single Liberator defensively. And Hero's down 80 supply. I just do not believe that anything good is gonna come out of this. Can we get a blink forward? No, we can't. Hero was not paying attention there. As this command center is gonna get sniped. Or at least he's gonna get attacked for a little while. Might actually go down. It's probably the biggest amount of damage that Hero has dealt over the past 3 minutes. This had so much potential. We had almost constant fighting coming out of Hero from like minute 11. Constant pressure on his opponent while expanding. At some point we had, what, like 87 workers to something like 37 or 40? It just wasn't enough. Hero not finding that transition into an army that can actually win fights. I say this frequently. I really believe that the key is with air weapon upgrades early on and eventually having to go into Tempest. I just don't think there is a world in which you win fights without Tempest. At least I'm not familiar with that world. And with Tempest, we have seen some high-level players like Zaun, for example, fare relatively well. As Hero is going to tap out with a GG. Clem wins game number 1 of this best of 5. Our second game is going to be on the White Rabbit. This is a fun map. Lots of cool little games. I'm personally a huge fan. Whoa! Almost in time to block that barracks. Not quite. 2 SCVs get pulled instantly. Look at that. Clem is a professional at handling this type of stuff. I would love to see a core into Gateway though. I also wonder if Terrans are less likely to play double gas when something like this happens. The other day, I was watching, I was thinking of this, like an instant scout, send it across the map, and you build like a pylon over here, and at the same time you send a second worker out to proxy your gateway. So you send it like 18 seconds after your first probe. So you send like instant worker out, then at 18 you send your second, gateway over here, and you harass with this first worker. I think it actually would be a really freaking cool play. Like you do quite a bit of indirect damage, and you often get to delay the barracks by like 2-3 seconds, which could be a pretty big deal. It's gonna be Marine first here, and then low ground CC, I think. That is at least the standard usually. I think he should punch this once. He should have punched it, yeah, a little bit earlier. Would have dealt more damage. He already was regaining some shields. 143 here on this thing. It's going to be Marine into Reactor, Depot, Factory. I think it's going to be it. I would have proxied the pylon here, Gateway over here. Look, it wouldn't have been scouted. This would have worked. First Zealot coming out in a couple of seconds. Second Zealot at like 210. Boom, we're freaking cooking. Clem theoretically just lost the game versus me in my head. I completely simulated it. God, I can't believe I beat him. Hero should take a page out of my book. Okay, Stalker coming out. It's going to be Chronoed. Refinery post factory. Are we going to get a blind bunker? Usually when you get a bunker, you do it post second depot. You know, the worker that builds the second depot goes down. Pum-de-dum-de-dum. Builds the bunker. You're going to have a good old time. And then life is A-okay. Stalker moves to the high ground. Moves to the low ground. I think, honestly, Hero's just going to stay at home. He's more of a... He is a stay-at-home. He is a stay-at-home Protoss, you know? He doesn't mind someone else doing the work for him, paying the bills. It's not much of a harasser. KCC finishes up. Hellion. Expecting a mine behind this too. So Hellion, mine. And then what? Mine drop? Again? Oh wait, we didn't see a mine drop last game. I was going to say worked well enough last game, but last game was a triple CC opener. It's going to be 3 gate. No, it's going to be Robo again. Okay. And 3 gate. Oh, full walling, by the way. Look at that. Even worker cuts to do that. Hero is afraid of something. I don't quite know what he is afraid of. Should have been afraid of losing that adept. I'm more afraid. Maybe he was afraid. We don't know. It's going to be a cyclone drop, by the way. Very rare build order to see. Maybe it's not going to be a cyclone drop, but a cyclone into tank attack. This is a little bit more common, I would say. It's one of the builds that Clem pulls out. I don't want to say infrequently, but it actually is not that frequent. So yeah, infrequently would work. Every now and again, he'll go for it. I think usually followed up with a tank. Can also go for a swap on these two. Instant Raven. Like you have a lot of options. Oh, the timing here is beautiful. Okay, it's gonna piss off. Next medevac's gonna... No, straight into tech lab. Okay. Hell, Marine's still at home. Oh. I thought this was gonna be a straight up push out, but it's not gonna be it at all. Behind we also have a 4th gate, so it's gonna be 4-gate blink. Hellion stopping any Nexus from going down. 4 Stalkers. 5 Stalkers in the main base with blink. Like, have a nice fight here, brother. But you're just gonna lose that medevac instantly. There we go. Cyclone goes down. All 4 Marines will fall as well. This Hellion probably wants to start moving in to see what the hell is going on. Seeing the lack of a 3rd base also is information, of course. So it's not necessarily bad to have that. Raven's gonna stay at home. First tank on the high ground. Bunker's not even done. Like, this could actually end extremely poor. As we're following this up with charge. Triangle Nexus. Oh. So... Not is Clem only unprepared for this blink push, he is also unprepared for a macro game. So he is not ready for anything. which is not a great look. It's going to be a tank down here right now. Observer has the vision. If he kills this tank, it's just over. Ooh, goes for the bunker. Stalker gets saved, by the way. That was well done. Bunker stays alive. Third tank is about halfway done. That's a crazy blink. That is a hero blink. That is a hero blink. It's going to lose another Stalker here. Kills the Raven, though. 4 Stalkers in here. Next tank is going to pop out in a second or so. 4 more Stalkers being warped in. Heli and other sides at the same time to go across. I'm going to keep an eye on the minimap on that, see if that can do anything. Although, maybe it's not even going to matter. As this tank falls, target fire with this one is good. We still have this thing going on as well. Hellions not getting a whole lot of kills. We only have a single tank left. No stim. 0 marauders. No bunker. And we have vision of the ramp as well. So Hero knows the moment this thing unsieges. I don't think it's going to blink in further forward, but he knows to pull back a little bit. This Hellion ends up killing 3 workers, which is a decent trade. 1 Hellion for 3 workers, but the third base is already here. I don't think Clem is quite aware of that. Yeah, he's not. That's going to be an issue. We get a blink into the main. Stim is going to fall. And with Stim falling, that means that these Stalkers now have basically infinite time to deal damage. Ooh, loses 1 Stalker in a sloppy blink out. A sloppy retreat indeed. Wonder if you can blink onto this from the low ground. I don't think so. Instead what he's going to do is going to go charge. Charge on top of this. Ooh, you're just walking straight into it, eh? Okay, nice. This worked. Third CC is on the way for Clem. He's rebuilding his tech lab. Okay, attack onto the Marauder. Zealots in the main base meanwhile. We have 4 gateways with this. 4 SCVs are falling already. Stalker count of 12? 12, yeah. 12 Stalkers. Dark Shrine behind this. This is one of the few times where I see such a fast mid-game Dark Shrine when a Protoss isn't behind. This is the when ahead, there's no way they get turrets blindly type of Dark Shrine, which might actually be my favorite one. 1 tank is gonna fall, but the Prism dies as well. That's actually gonna cost him a lot of aggression here. Tank doesn't get targeted properly. Lots of Stalkers still alive. Just a single tank remains right now. If the Blink Stalker micro is accurate, you have about 60 more seconds here. A full minute. Oh, that's crazy. That is crazy work. You have a full minute to deal damage here with Stalkers. Prism needs to be used, or needs to be rebuilt. Oh, that's not a great blink forward, honestly. The Marine, or that Observer also gets taken out. A couple extra Zealots now moving in. Second tank shows up as well. We'll siege on the high ground. 55 workers to 61. Clem is trying to stay alive desperately. He's doing an okay job at that. This Immortal walks across. Forward base going up behind this though. And I think that's the real issue, is that Hero didn't really slow down. So Hero is ahead in every possible way right now. And he still has the DT setup going for him as well. Like the moment we're going to get a move out of his opponent, a bunch of DTs are going to run in. This is actually going to be real important. Did he see that DT? I think he saw it. Hell yeah, he saw it. Okay, so that DT is going to get sniped. Double turrets going down immediately. Very big deal. Here comes the Prism. Are we going to see split DTs or all DTs in one location? We have 1 scan available right now. A very big deal. Stim comes in. Double pick up. I think the Prism is almost going to die. No, it won't. DT active in the natural though. 8 worker kills, 9 worker kills, 10. Make that 11. Yep, there we go. 11 SCV kills. 64 to 47. That's really not that bad. You know, that is a very acceptable amount of SCVs. Or sorry, a very acceptable amount of SCVs to kill. There you go. You finish my sentences. Okay, good scan. Gets that at least. Clem down 20 supply, down 17 workers, down a base. If we consider this a mining base. I will for now. But this is barracks 3. Okay, there's 4 and 5. Oh my god. For a second I thought there wasn't barracks 4 and 5. If you're playing 10 gate against 5 barracks, like the Protoss can actually just run Zealots into your units. You're not gonna win. Here comes a snipe, potentially on what he might think is like something important. Of course, we know it is nothing important. Could maybe drop one more time. There you go. It's gonna force out a scan. Hoppa! Well done. 225 minerals down the drain, just like that. Blink does get revealed, but I think that might actually scare Clem more than anything else. I'd love to see a 6th base. I have no clue what this gateway is doing over here. It's like, what position for reinforcement is closer right now? That was a sick move, by the way. Holy cow, that was so cool. You see that? the freaking blink into the possibility of picking up. There's also no scans available right now. Oh my god, Hero he's a freaking magician. He's doing this so well. This is such a well-executed game, honestly. I really want to give major props here to our Protoss player. He is kind of struggling at finishing it. He's attacking into 2 tank. He can just attack into the natural here. There's no way that the Clem does anything. Guardian Shield gets popped as well. Zealots are active. Good hold position here. The Clem is really sick at holding spots. That absolutely should not be holdable. We're going to get a full SCV wall over here. But a bunch of SCVs are going to fall as a result of that. Get a blink on top of this. Yep, there we go. Stalkers are going to kill some of these tanks. 16 SCVs go down. The problem is just the 11 gates behind this. If this is off of 8 gates, I'd say 8 gates, maybe it's possible, but not like this. As Hero wins game number 2 and ties up this series. Map number 3 is going to be Mothership. This Clem has had it. He says, no more. No longer will I be bullied by these fast scouting Protoss players. Let me just pop some freak. Ooh, look at his position on the barracks, eh? I think it's going to be Proxy Marauder. As in, I can't imagine anything else. It means the tech lab will go here. What do we have here? This is what we call a Marauder prison. Okay. If your rally point is wrong, so imagine this rally point is going to go like phew, straight over here. Rallies out in this location. Boom. Stuck in freaking Marauder prison. The worst place to be. Not many people know this, but Marauders are actually people. I think that they were like criminals, and they got offered to fight for the Dominion. You know, it's like these. Yeah, that's what it is. I think criminals and lowlifes and scum of the earth. And now this guy's gonna go back into prison. He's not gonna like that. Like, what the hell? I thought if I signed up for the army, I would be out of it. He's gonna be stuck in here like a little prick. So this rally point, we're gonna keep an eye on that. Hero is doing the sensible thing here and not scouting. Gonna get a Stalker out. If he doesn't blind battery, I think we can just leave the game. We can start our next one. If he does blind... Oh, if it's blind battery here, Twilight in the wall. Yikers. That is a big, big yikers. Holy cow. That is not a good look. We need a blind battery, and we need it yesterday. Once these Marauders start walking across the map, like, life is not going to be as we knew it once. A long time ago. In a town called Kickapoo. There lived a humble family. Okay, battery? Okay, might finish in time. It's not gonna matter though, is it? Just go, like, Clem knows that he hasn't been scouted. So he's just gonna hang out, go with 5 Marauders. 5 Marauders shoot through a battery. So it's actually all irrelevant. Life doesn't matter anymore. They have won. Ay. And no one got stuck in Marauder prison either. Okay, so this Adept is gonna die first. And then the Stalker will die second. He's gonna pull workers. He should pull from the main as well. But it literally doesn't matter. Like, you're just gonna get bursted down. Yeah. GG gets called. Clem wins game number 3 and puts himself on match point. Our next game on Ruby Rock has us starting with actually a very similar build order here for Hero. Twilight in the wall, albeit a little bit later. Let's see what we're actually doing here. So Tap seems to be in some trouble. Might actually die. Would be highly unfortunate. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of dying. I am anti-death, which might be a controversial ethical stance these days, but I'll take it anyway. They can stop me. Adept Stalker. I guess we're gonna get Blink. Hellion Mine? Is that what we're feeling here? Whoa. Hellion. Tech Lab. What is going on in Clem's head here? What does he want to do? Is this gonna be like a straight Banshee thing or another Cyclone? I don't like Cyclone drop attacks. I just don't think they're good. Okay, it's gonna be a straight swap. Probably Banshee. You know what? I like that without... No, it's Raven. I also don't mind it. There is really something to be said for Raven openers without a medevac. I remember I once spoke to Clem about this particular opener against things like 3 and 4 gate blink. And the reasoning why back then I thought it would be good is, Reaper coming in. That's not the reason why I think it's good, but that is also good for Clem. So very frequently Protoss players, when they're playing these types of 3 or 4 gate blink prism builds, they'll stay at home till 450. And then once they see there's no mine drop, they move out. And it very neatly kind of coincides with the Raven timing, which usually hits like 5 minutes, 5 minute 10, while simultaneously also having quick tanks at home. You often get your second tank out as the first blink in happens. So timing wise, you have 2 tanks, you can have a bunker at home, and you still have harassment, while at the same time also having pretty fast stim. So this build is really strong anti-3 gate prism type of play. I guess the problem that we have right now is that this actually wasn't a 3 gate prism. It is a 3 gate, and we're even going across the map here, but it's with an observer. So I think it's just a little bit weaker, or it's quite a bit weaker. The Raven is also afraid, went back home, might just decide to go back in, although it does seem to reroute itself all the way back home for now. You have 1 tank going to the low ground. This is a beautiful little wall, by the way. It's going to be tough for Hero to actually do something useful. Ooh, look at that. The second hit. There's going to be a third hit there. No. You actually did a re-target fire there. 2 stalkers end up falling in exchange for a tech lab and a reactor. No, wait. This wasn't done yet. The reactor here got killed. Right. So reactor, tech lab, combat shield gets cancelled. I bet Clem right now wishes that his Raven had stayed at home. I don't super mind this spot for Hero. I think this is absolutely playable. Raven could move in. Like, this is always kind of the dance, you know? With the Observer and the Raven. It's the dance that the Observer usually wins. Because you have a lot of vision. Especially in the new surveillance mode. Really get to see a lot. Okay, this thing is going to swap over here. So mines are not going to be a part of the incoming push. Barracks 4 and 5 might be part of any type of push that we will see. This follow-up is going to be thermal lands. First Colossus on the way as well. We've seen a massive switch up, by the way, over the past few weeks, 2-3 weeks, of Storm-based play into mainly Colossus-based play. I think a lot of Protoss players feel more comfortable with the Colossus as an opener, as the first kind of tech. Okay, this thing's gonna die. It's a big deal because less vision. So if you're max packs, like, I know exactly what max packs would do in this situation. There would be 1 stalker over here. There would be a stalker over here. Maybe even over here, 1. Hero is a little bit different. He prefers to keep everything together. He doesn't care so much about what happens behind him. But maybe he should have, because this is going to come in with a kind of a surround. Okay, we have 1 stalker that is in this position. Hero's game sense is just immaculate. So solid. We're going to get a pre-stim over here. I think this stalker is going to fall, but that's a full stim for 1 stalker. It's nice to get, but you're also losing a Marine here as a scout, so it's like this is not something where Hero's going to be losing any major sleep over this trade. It's like, oh no, not that 1 stalker. How awful. Fast Templar Archives though. So I might go for Quick Storm. Could also go for added Archons, obviously. Templar Archives can do many things. Knowing how Hero likes to play, I'd almost expect Archons. He's on 5 gases. Get like 2 Archons for a push. 3 Colossus. 2 Colossus Prism. Okay, now I'm very certain that it's going to be Archons and not Storm. I'm going to get a scan into the main base. Seize the Templar Archives. Is this fake Storm for the scan? Yeah. Yeah, it is fake Storm. Yeah, it just... Hero is not the type of guy to cancel a 3rd Colossus and then go into a Storm push. This is it's gonna be Archons. But that's nice. If I can read that, I think Clem also can kind of understand that. I think he's probably just preparing for an incoming push either way. Like against Storm, you might want to take some map control while they don't have it, right? Like the Storm situation is maybe 4 Templar, so that's all 600 gas. In the Storm research, so you had a bit more resources. Like there's going to be like around like 1.2k resources or so that are being wasted into that Storm. So you might want to take map control, especially if you have a bunch of mines out. But I think Clem He probably has a good sense as to what is happening, and he's just sitting back, has a really nice pre-spread, setting up his mind, like not at all being over eager to do anything here really. And Hero, I think he knows that the forward base timing is coming in at some point. He wants to know exactly when, so he can kind of play around that. We're gonna get an attack onto the top side bunker, I think. There's a disruptor in this mix as well, which feels awkward. Could actually be correct. Triple Archons against 3 Ghosts. A couple of EMPs do end up hitting. Vikings are so active here on the bottom side, though. This was a great fight for Clem. A really atrocious fight for Hero. Resource lost 5.6 to 2.7. Its Guardian Shield is not being activated. The Sentry is about to die as well. Another Stalker falls. Could we get a snipe on that Sentry? Would be huge. Maybe some... Oh, Force Fields here would be great too. I feel like spell usage out of Hero hasn't been brilliant so far. 5 workers gone down behind this. I think it's a Raven. Yep, there we go. Raven did get a couple of kills. 5th base is up now as well, though. So it's going to be 5 base versus 3 base. 4th base, however, is done. And I don't think this can be contested anymore. Hero's probably going to try, because that's the type of stuff that Hero does. He's adding in more Archons. And look at this. Complete lack of extra upgrades. There's double forges, but all the money is being sunk into this push right now. So although this doesn't necessarily feel all in with the eco, it looks very all in. Because once 2-2 finishes up for Clem, there is no way in hell that Hero's ever going to win a fight. And he's down 30 supply right now. He's not in a good spot. He is not in a good spot. We have double starport pumping Vikings. We're going to have 8 barracks pumping Marine Marauder Ghost. Archons are losing their value rapidly as the ghost count continues to rise. Like, I think Hero is kind of just walking himself into Clem's army again and again, like just killing himself. Like there's nothing he can do here that would be even remotely decent. Like I can't imagine an outcome here that is good for him. Like it'd have to be base trades. It is the only thing that makes any sense. Base rate, base rate, base rate. Ooh, Raven. Could have gone for the Cheeto Dust, the anti-armor missile. The last second, but Clem wasn't paying attention, just flew it out. I was like, maybe I can get it out of there, but he couldn't. Look at this. This is just on the dot timings, you know? 2-2 finishes up, and Clem knows he wants to fight. He knows he has a bigger army. Hero probably thinks the upgrades are evenish right now. He's gonna get like blasted off of the face of the earth. There is 0 chance that Hero's gonna win any fight. Down 50 supply, down 2 upgrades. Clem is just gonna shove it here instantly. Continues upgrading behind this, by the way. This is by no means all in. 86 workers for Hero. Double the army supply on Clem, and he's still being careful. He's still microing back. Like he's not pushing the issue as hard as maybe some other Terrans would have in this position, where they're like, okay, we're so far ahead, I can just win this battle by A moving. But Clem is just playing this out very carefully. He knows he has a large timing window. It's killing 13, 14, 15 workers. This base is going to go down. All the Colossi have fallen. Clem hasn't been under 200 supply in a while. Like, the moment something dies, he replaces it instantly. He has those 8 barracks behind it after all. And yeah, this is a slaughter. But a clean game here out of Clem. Literally understanding everything that he saw and reading it and responding correctly. Like, he just... Yeah, this is... If you give Clem a free mid game, he's going to murder you before you even get to late, and that's what happened here. Clem's going to win this series with a 3-1 score. I thank all of you for watching. I thank Clem and Hero for playing. I'll see you all next time for a new video. Ciao, ciao.